Nice music.
Yeah, like
this is the halftime show for the game tonight.
That's right.
I don't think I can top Riri for sure.
nice.
I'm sure she's really kicking some butt. I'm recording it so I can watch it. Hi everybody. So just so everybody knows, in case you're on I had to post this on my fake personal Facebook page because I'm banned for 5 more days because I made a joke and they hate my guts. So
is it not going through your Paranormal Brew?
So it's going through Paranormal Brew on YouTube, and
okay,
yeah, on YouTube's on BB3 TV's YouTube page and on Paranormal Brew's YouTube page, and then my personal fake Facebook account page. But for some reason, I can't get the comments to link, or maybe I am because somebody from Facebook said hi.
Yep, somebody did.
So I guess so. Okay, good.
Well, because I also shared it, so it's
all right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just, you know what sucks about that is I really try to behave myself, honestly, and you just never know what they're gonna pick.
That's because people are bitching.
And you get so surprised. You're just like, what? That comment? Really?
No.
You know.
I don't know. Some people get pissed off at stupid shit. And that's really what it is. It's stupid crap, and they get pissed off.
Facebook, said it went against their community standards.
I am against their community standards. Somehow I get the post, so I don't know what to tell you.
I know it sucks. So how are you guys?
Good.
So I just want to start by talking about, because nobody's talked about it, or that at least I have. What about these things where they're shooting down all over?
Pew pew.
The most interesting thing about all that is like where we are. Like there's things being shot out of the sky, and most of us are like, meh, well, welcome to 23.
Oh,
yeah. I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah. COVID. Then next year couldn't get any worse. Then it got worse.
Murder hornets.
We're shooting alien spacecraft out of the sky, picking a fight.
Yeah,
like whatever.
The problem here is I mean, and this is good. This is a good topic. I mean, because I've been following some of it, and they are usually surveillance balloons, and there's a whole bunch. And like countries just dick over everyone else, all the other countries. So when China apologized for one that was shot down, the first one, we're sorry, we didn't mean it. You know damn well that there were like dozens of others being sent up. So
I must have missed the story where they apologized. They seemed a little incensed that we overreacted.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And
fly over our airspace and get pissed at us.
Yeah.
Right? And we're just
then
like, okay.
UFO enthusiasts that are eating it up, because once you put that unidentified term in there, that's your key word. Put that in there, boom. Everybody's, they're cracking open their Red Bull, they're firing up the computer in mom's basement, and they're going to town. And just having fun.
But the truth is, it really is at this point an unidentified flying object. But they're saying a lot of people are saying it's aliens. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, why haven't we talked about it? Why isn't anybody talking and asking questions?
They are talking about it. People
I'm missing it.
Social media are talking about it, but it's just you have people like us that are like, whatever, it's 2023. Big deal.
It's
So-
fun to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, if it's Chinese aircraft invading our airspace, they should have shot it down a long time ago.
I like.
I'd be more upset that we've been letting this go for so long, and now they're kind of like, well, now that you notice, maybe we should do something about it. But I mean, it's interesting to read the stories because it's going to obviously start a lot of speculation. Because you
Yeah.
have the one story wherever the hell it was it Alaska or Montana? I'm losing track of which one was which, but they stated the fighter jets went up on one of them. They had a radar signal. They couldn't find it. So they came back down. It was nighttime. And I'm thinking, really? The military can't see shit at nighttime? Okay, whatever. So then you go to the other one where they go up and then it interfered with their equipment. It's like,
Right.
okay, I can see some people are gonna be like, oh, it's got to be fucking aliens.
Right.
Like, well, no, if you're smart and you're the Chinese, you're gonna probably try to block people from doing certain things and lock
Right.
onto it. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
I saw a news report just like probably a half hour before we went on, and the news anchor said, "We have another report of an unidentified object, an unmanned object that was recently just shot down." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, how do you know it was unmanned if it was unidentified? Like,
Right.
if you were close enough to see that there was nobody on board, then you should be able to identify it." I think the problem is most of these are like just different balloons, different devices. They probably have different devices hanging from it because the balloon itself is that's what keeps it up.
Right.
I thought it was interesting. The one report though, they said it was like an octagon structure, and they couldn't determine what the propulsion system was. I'm like, helium? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I find it interesting though. You got a balloon and you send up probably a $35 million top of the line fighter jet to shoot probably $1 million missile at it, and we're like, yep, balloon.
Yeah,
it's obvious what the propulsion system is. Quantum physics.
Quantum
Physics.
all
Quantum mechanics.
What
I thought it was
don't
psychokinetic
understand,
pushing.
Exactly, with quantum.
like what I don't understand is the first one, supposedly. Okay, I'm only going by what we get told, right? So like the first one, they let it go all the way across the United States before they shoot it down. But now you have these other ones where they're shooting them down and then we're hearing about them. We're not hearing about it and then they're shooting them down. They're not letting them float around forever.
It
You know what I mean?
makes you wonder if they found something on whatever wreckage they got or from the debris from the first one. If they're like, okay, we can't let these float around the U.S. They've obviously identified something that they think it's a threat. But the other thing I saw was that they were saying it's a threat to the commercial air traffic in the areas too.
That's the issue.
Which is probably the bigger concern right now. And I guess as long as it's in an open area or it's safe to shoot it down, it's not going to, rain down on people's houses. They're going to go ahead and do it, which I'm all for. Shoot that shit down.
So if it lands in my yard, is it mine?
You can try that. Let us know how that works out for you, Tim.
Get it in your house quick enough.
It just hit my yard.
Good. I did hear one of the report, or several of the reports said that the other objects were like 40,000 feet. So that's why it was causing a danger to air traffic. So yeah, you want to get it out. I mean, the first one, from what I understand, the explanation was that, hey, it's so high up that it's okay. We can let it go. We know where it's going and we're tracking it. It's not getting shit if it's spying, which it probably is. So they waited until it was over open water or safe to shoot it down. So they shoot it down. The other ones, you're going to have planes in the way.
Kenny Staff.
Who's Kenny Staff?
The two down here.
Yeah, where the hell's our paycheck?
That one and that one.
I'm waiting on my W-2s.
Have you gotten paid yet, Tim? I put in a vacation request. It seems to have gone ignored.
Shocker. Did you submit it in triplicate? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the problem.
No, any triple to even think about looking at it.
Anyway, but I mean, you go back to what was that? Was it a year or so ago? We did a show on the government report on UAPs, and there's a lot of, okay, maybe they're just misidentification. Maybe it's foreign objects. I think the one thing this stresses is that it's either if it's an intrusion on our sovereign airspace, or if they're actually a threat to commercial flights. It shows these things are a real threat and they need to be identified and dealt with.
Right.
But it's amazing how you can go from maybe not noticing them to now
All the stuff.
NORAD is tracking everything, and they send fighter jets up to kind of fly by and take a peek in these things, and then they're shooting them out of the sky. It's obviously a threat, either national security wise or commercial aircraft.
Yeah. How do they?
Makes for
I
good
think-
news, though.
I think what it is because they're shooting them out of the sky. They wouldn't be doing that if they didn't feel like they let the balloon go across the entire United States. You know, it's like, you know, they didn't think there was a threat there, so I guess they didn't. But these, I guess they feel.
I guess with
That's
this
why-
comment, I think there's a lot that we are not privy to, and we have to understand that national security is not going to be public knowledge. You're not going to know what's going on. So when they see these objects and they track them and they figure out possibly what they are, they want to investigate first because they want to figure out, hey, you know, what is it doing? And then once they can figure that out, which probably they do, I'm going to give this just the benefit of the doubt that
They're not shooting them down if they think it's fine.
Yeah.
They have an idea that something's not right.
You want to make sure it's not going to cause more damage, like if there's explosives and stuff like that on board. You don't want to just shoot down something and have it rain down hellfire on the country. You want to make sure of what it is, what you're targeting.
Well, just keep your eyes open. A month from now, another bout of COVID is going to circle the U.S.
Well, if it lands in my yard, it's mine.
Yeah.
And Tim's yard is the beginning of the zombie apocalypse.
Wait, somebody
That's
just
cool as shit.
Somebody said paints a red and white bullseye target in the yard.
It's mine.
Yep.
I don't know. I just thought that was just strange. You know, the whole thing of it is I don't like because they have to be finding the stuff. They're obviously going to look after they shoot it down to see if they can find anything or see what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I'm sure they're going to collect it, and I'm sure people are going to take it as, look, they're taking you up. I mean, shit, my TikTok feed, which TikTok, that's your first disclaimer, okay, is full of videos of people watching trucks and all kinds of stuff, and with covered materials on the back, and they're like, look, aliens, look, UFO, you know, and it's just, UFO does not mean alien.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Right.
It just means they don't know what it is. It's probably some kind of surveillance technology that they're trying to figure out. All these different shapes. I mean, think about it. What better way would a foreign country have to say, hey, we're going to send some balloons up, but we're going to send some fucked up shapes? Because Americans are so freaking weird with this shit.
Yeah.
We're going to feed into it. They're going to love it, and they're going to talk about it. We're going to go viral because we send a cylinder-shaped spy balloon over there. There you go. I mean, they're playing into it.
That's a great chess move right there. To send a balloon that's actually shaped like a flying saucer.
Right.
This country lose its shit. Oh God, we shot down a flying saucer. We're screwed.
Oh my God.
It's hilarious, Kenny. Make it
so
shaped like a flying saucer. Classic 1950s.
Yeah.
Stuff spinning in the middle. That'd be great.
So do you believe that the government came out and said that there is such thing as aliens?
Oh, no.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
When
they
did
confirm?
they say that?
Well, yeah, when they say that.
Oh, to Google.
Yeah. I
Google.
I would Google my phone. I would have to go off of TT to Google it.
So, I mean, oh shit. I mean, the report came out, and that's what we were talking about. Dave mentioned it. We did a poll on that like a year ago. But that report did not say that there were aliens. It did not say it was just a report on basically, I think, and correct me guys if I'm wrong, but basically it was a report to say that we need more money to do more investigating. Basically,
was it confirmed?
They had it in different categories, and I think what was it, 5 categories? I think.
Couldn't find it.
And 4 of them were all identified objects, different types of objects, and the 5th was left for we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely not a confirmation of alien or otherworldly crafts. It was just a indication like, hey, we don't know what it is because the information that we're getting for each specific case in this category is insufficient.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
What about like the Project Blue Book?
What about it?
Like, do you think that was a legit? They were like, what, doing a study? I only watched a couple episodes. I wanted to watch more.
Don't base it on the TV show.
No. I don't. I know that it's.
I mean, the real project.
I know that it wasn't, that I know that's exaggerated. You know what I mean? But was there really a study conducted with the government, like this gentleman? Like.
There was a real study. I mean, they honestly looked at it, and that's not the first time. There's been other projects before that to look at it, and I mean, the conclusions are basically a large percentage of them are explainable, but there's still a small percentage that they'll say we're not sure what they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't recall them ever saying that it was aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So before I forget this, because I often do at my age, I think we should like what are your predictions now about the reports of UFOs? I kind of feel like it's going to go up since all this. One, I think you're going to have more people watching the sky, which I think that they are going to see things that they don't understand or maybe don't know. But I think it's just going to be pretty interesting to see after all this going on with the balloons that there's going to be a very noticeable spike in reports of UFO sightings.
I totally agree. And I think there's a roller coaster. There's what is that called? I think there's a term for it. Not roller coaster, but there's ups and downs that go with this. And this is a spike. This is going to be an uptick because you have the report that came out last year, which didn't tell us shit. But now you have these balloons, thank you, China, that come across and we're shooting them down and people are taking them as UFOs instead of the actual term of unidentified objects. So there's going to be an uptick and people are interested. We're seeing it in the news. You see your social media feeds just blowing up with all kinds of stuff like this. People making videos, people reporting on videos, people hoaxing videos. I'm seeing an uptick in hoaxed videos where people are CGing UFOs or just putting stuff in the background saying, look, this happened. I mean, shit, the earthquake in Turkey, exploiting that and saying, look, aliens did this, aliens caused this, and putting in CG effects in the background.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible. It's really, it's shitty. But I think you're going to see that uptick, and it's going to happen for the rest of the year, I think. And maybe if we're lucky, it'll start dying down.
Yeah, but there's a lot of different conspiracies. People, not just UFOs. People are saying it's our own government doing it, to distract us. You have people saying stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I've already heard it's to distract from the Epstein list.
or the file, all kinds of stuff going around just to like distract, but it really is definitely something strange, that because why all of a sudden are we just shooting things out of the sky and why is it happening like in this little patch of time all of a sudden,
because I think, and jump in guys, but I think this is more or less like selection bias because one showed up, we figured it out. Now, and when I say we, I mean our military figured it out and said, hey, something's going on. Somebody's trying to spy on us and shot it down. And then we discovered the whole bunch of other spy aircraft that are coming around. So that's why it's all of a sudden. It's not something that's just like, you don't want to mistake sudden for supernatural. They don't explain.
Devil's advocate though, like if they wanted to spy, why would they make it so obvious?
It's not obvious though.
Well,
It's gone on for years though. I mean, they're saying there was during the last administration there was multiple incursions of these spy balloons supposedly, and now that information's coming out. The other thing they talked about today was the NORAD's taking a look at the raw radar data, and a lot of times they would see these little blips and go, it's just it's a noise or it's an anomaly, and now they're looking at it going, well, maybe not. So I think what really happened is, you got the tensions going on with China. There's NATO coming. Yeah, there's NATO countries that are basically saying that they're seeing the same thing. Now China's saying, oh, we got something over our airspace. The tensions with China, the geopolitical situation, what's going on with Taiwan, them probably trying to collect intel on us, and finally it's hit the mainstream. And yeah. I really think after they shot the first one down and they realized, this isn't a weather balloon, they're collecting intel, they're not going to let anything fly into our airspace. So I think it's one of those things where, like, if you have a disease and maybe it's been going on, but you kind of lower the threshold so you can detect more of it. It's kind of like, oh, okay, now we're finding more and more, so they got to do something about it. I'm kind of thinking that's what they're doing, because they're looking at the raw data and they're looking at some of these anomalies and going, ooh, that might not have been a glitch, or might not have been a weather balloon like we thought. We haven't tracked these before, but now they're like, well, shit, from that one that we downed in the Carolinas, we know China's trying to send something over to take a look at us, so now we got to kind of step it up and lock it down. And we're probably going to see a lot more of this. And I would assume you're probably going to see it probably throughout the world, even in other NATO countries and other countries we have alliances with. And it's going to continue to heat up as things, in Taiwan get a little more questionable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's my problem with it is, well, shit, if you knew China was doing this how many years ago, you should have dealt with it then.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
better late than never, I guess.
I don't know.
By the time they shot it down, they had everything they needed. So
yeah, absolutely.
Well, until we shoot it down and Mork from Mork walks out of one of those balloons, and then we know it's aliens.
That's why
you better sign Giorgio up right now.
What do you say?
I sunbathe naked in the backyard just for get my China.
Well, we just found the single biggest deterrent to them doing this anymore.
Woohoo!
No Google. What was that? Google Earth photos of Kenny's house. So I have a question. Me and the Peaches were talking about this, so I want to ask you, Kenny, and I want opinions because me and the girls have talked about it, but
oh boy.
I don't know how to ask it, but this is what I want to say. This is what I want to ask.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how to ask it, but let's ask it anyway.
So just for shits and giggles, devil's advocate, you have a paranormal experience, right? That you can say, just pretend for 5 seconds or 5 minutes. You have one, right? And you deem it to be paranormal and you had this experience. Do you think that I don't know how to ask this. I'm not trying to sound rude, but do you think that would interfere with your position at your job?
No. I mean, I'm Jesus, look at this hair. I'll keep that. So my position is investigator, and it's not, hey, let's go out and purposely debunk everything. It's to look into things. And this is what I've always done. I mean, this is what I do. So if I come across something that I can't solve, I can't say, hey, we can attribute natural causes to this. There's something else going on. Then that opens it up to more investigation by people with higher pay grades and a lot more knowledge than I do. But if I had an experience where I was like, wow, I don't know what that is, that would be cool. Like if a ghost popped up right in front of me.
Right.
Just right in front of me, standing in front of me, and I could go.
I always say you still would say it wasn't.
No, I'm not.
No, but yeah.
I would say like something happened. I saw somebody that looked like a figure in front of me. I poked my hand through its chest. Didn't do anything. Really cool. Talked to me. Felt cold. Felt this. I had an experience. Does that mean I no longer have a job? I hope not.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, like, I mean, do they? I mean, would they want you to find
Doing?
the
I would
paranormal?
still keep looking at it. Yeah, I mean, all of us here are. I mean, this is not an organization that just says none of this exists. We look into it. Different people look into it, and they come to their own conclusions. So if something is really cool, it deserves more study. That's bottom line. It deserves more study.
Mhm.
And I know, like Dave and I go back and forth sometimes on different topics. And I'm going to try and say the word statistics that are statistically, oh my God, I hate that word, significant, which deserve more study. And I agree. I totally agree. It deserves more study.
Which
But
would
I'm
be
not
what topics?
With what topic?
Example, like maybe
different topics like
Hey Tim, isn't this fun? Just letting the boss man answer
This
questions?
is great.
No. I'm getting to you too.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, he's in charge.
Yeah.
He hired us.
But I want
We'll get to
Kenny
you,
to
Dave.
explain this
Shut up.
because Kenny can sometimes get a bad rap, and I hate that because people don't. They just think he wants to shoot everybody down, and he doesn't believe, And I
I don't want to shoot everyone down. I just want people to, I guess, to put it bluntly, do better. That's
Yeah.
it. I do a show with these two guys that I love doing, and I respect the shit out of their opinions because they challenge me. They bring more knowledge to the table than I do, and it's different opinions, and they bring up good points when we discuss paranormal topics. So I get it. I don't want to debunk everything. That's not my job. My job is not a debunker. That's the result of some of my investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to understand that. That's not what I'm not going in debunking things because that by definition goes in with a bias. Just like anyone else that goes in and says, I can't wait to get all the evidence I'm going to get tonight.
Right.
They're not even there and they already decided they're getting evidence.
Right.
So when I go into a place, I'm looking for what's going on. And if I don't know, that's going to be the conclusion. I don't know. If I have an experience, that's what I'm going to tell people.
Mm-hmm.
I had an experience I can't explain. But I'm going to look for more explanations because maybe I don't know what caused it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know everything.
And at what point would you stop looking for an answer?
I don't think you ever stop looking. That's the basis of science. You just don't stop. Nothing is written in concrete. Nothing is solid.
So
you more information.
Have a conclusion to it?
A what?
You wouldn't have a conclusion as to what it.
No. You can have a conclusion based on the data that you have so far.
Right.
You can come to a conclusion. But when new information comes to light, you can change that conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can either incorporate or reject the new information, depending on if it's valid or not.
Right.
You can change your worldview. That's the point. Science is not concrete. It's ever evolving with new information. And I think that's what people need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we say like this is it, that's it, 100%. You don't touch this topic anymore. Shelf it. It's done. No, because something might come up years from now or months from now. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about it.
I don't know where else to go. I mean, am I wrong, guys? Am I?
No.
No, that's an excellent point. I mean, do you believe in anything? Do you believe that anything exists outside of the realm of?
I believe I can fly.
Because I want to ask you guys the same thing. Dave and Tim, I want you all to say if you believe in. Do you believe in anything outside of our existence that could be possible? Ghosts, aliens, anything that we always talk about.
Aliens? Yeah. Honestly, do I believe there's other life in the universe? Yeah. I think it'd be foolish to think there isn't. What that life is, I don't know. Is it microbial? Is it intelligent life? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's probably some sort of life in the universe somewhere. The numbers game is there.
Right.
As far as ghosts and life after death, people have enough experiences that I think there's something there. Do we know exactly what it is? No, I don't think we
Mhm.
do yet. I don't think anybody can say for sure there's life after death or there isn't. We don't know. I mean, there's plenty of good data both for and against it.
Mhm.
But other phenomena like I don't know, clairvoyance, telepathy. Yeah, statistically the data is there, and if it was any other field and it was mainstream, the statistical significance in the data there, people would accept it. But because it's something that they don't have an explanatory mechanism for right now, and we don't know exactly what it is, there's a lot of questions, which
Right.
rightfully so, there should be. But
Mhm.
if it was any other field, and I think we covered this in one of the shows Three Tortured Souls did, where we looked at basically a couple different meta-analysis and all the different studies and compared those to I think I compared them to medical drug studies, and the significance levels fall in line with the different medical drug studies. So, if you didn't know if it was paranormal parapsychology data or if it was mainstream pharmaceutical science, if you took those labels off, people could not tell you what it was
Right. True.
because the significance is there. And the pushback people give is, you don't have an explanatory mechanism. Well, there's a lot of things we didn't have an explanatory mechanism for a very long time. Germ theory, how people get sick, and then eventually you figure it out. So, is it something truly new and earth shattering? Maybe. Or is it something we just haven't figured out yet? That could be it. But I think for me, and I've said this many times, people have experiences. There's enough interesting things where, and honestly, ghost hunting and apparitions and hauntings, that's actually some of the weakest evidence or data. I'm not going to say evidence, data that you could use to support the idea of life after death. It's pretty weak. When you look at some of the other stuff, the reincarnation, near-death experiences, that's a little stronger, both in
Yeah. I
quantity
agree.
and quality because of the people that have done it and the
Yeah.
publications and the rigor that's been put behind it. So, I mean, if you're talking about just ghosts and hauntings, it's pretty weak. If you're talking about adding in all the other stuff, yeah, there's definitely enough data there to say there's something going on that
Mhm.
we can't explain 100%.
I
Timmers.
I think my probability scale would be life outside of our planet. I think that would be probably for me the highest to expect. And like Dave said, who knows what it is? Completely Spock-like figure or just some germs floating around. Either way, but life, I think that's probably out there. After that, I don't know. Um, I'm certainly open to it. Um, I want it to be true, if that makes any sense. But kind of just piggybacking without saying anything to double up on what both Kenny and Dave said. I kind of think people might misunderstand skeptic or skepticism as like not wanting something to happen and fighting claims. But the fighting and the arguing of claims isn't because you don't want it to be true. It's because you want it to be true. And it's kind of a little bit to get your head around. But if you fight to show something is in error or maybe something else is of a cause, and you can't, I think that's what lends a greater argument to its validity. So fighting to, for lack of a better word, fighting to disprove a claim without trying to debunk it, but just trying to look at holes or ways that stuff was collected to come to this claim. I mean, that to me is an honor to the claim, because if you can't and you pass it forward, the more people try to shoot holes in it, that can't put holes in it, I think that that's when you start to go, holy shit, this is pretty good. But to, not try to do that, I think is dishonorable to a claim.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just go on faith or belief, and that's not fair.
Do you find it harder to, like, when you know somebody, to be able to, so like, say somebody that you know and you trust comes to you with stuff that they've had happen to them or have experiences, do you find it harder to separate your educational side, like, because you know this person, you know what they're saying, I mean, do you find it harder to, I don't know, keep it scientific if somebody comes to you and says, oh, I had this experience, because you know them and you trust them, and
On the paranormal side, no. No. I've already, just from my small circle, like these guys, like when, small story, working in an escape room sometimes in the evening and having fun. I love doing that in the evening, extra money, all that good stuff. But we are working on a room that we are, it's going to be a haunted room.
Cool.
And, even the owner and the people, they're like, don't let Tim get on this, because he'll be just like, that's not going to work, because that doesn't work this way, because that wouldn't, you wouldn't have this noise in this condition. So they're just kind of like, just don't let Tim have at this. And it doesn't bother me.
Is it going to be I was going to say something, but I won't say it.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, is it going to be a real escape room?
Oh, yeah. It's an escape room. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool,
mm-hmm.
actually.
See, it doesn't bother me at all. I probably, like Kenny and Dave, at this point, when people come to us, with something, they probably already know what they're sitting down at the table with. But on the other side, I kind of think that that's a little bit of a compliment, because I won't, and I think I know I can speak for Dave and Kenny. I won't belittle anybody or blow them off because it's a paranormal claim. Like, I would take the time and listen in earnest, because you just don't know. And I don't think that's respectful to anybody that has a true experience. And I think people do have experiences. And I think people that have those experiences truly believe one way or the other, or are confused about those experiences and are just reaching out for help. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be dismissive or disrespectful of anybody that would come.
Right. Mm-hmm. I totally
Kenny's shirt screams everything you just said, Tim.
I mean, the two, when you have someone that's coming to you, whether they are a friend or someone that you don't know, they're coming to you, and likely, like, I'm just going to speak from personal experience, but if they're coming to me, they should already know that I'm, skeptical of things. So if they're coming to me, I guess my impression is that they want my perspective. So why would I deny them anything just because they're a friend of mine? Mm-hmm. Why would I treat them differently? If anything, I would treat them more honestly, because if you're a friend of mine, I should be able to be totally honest and blunt with you.
Yep.
And say, no, dude, that's not what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's this and this and this. I mean, we want to impart information that helps you do a better job, that improves the quality of your work. So if you're coming to us for advice, or say, hey, I have this evidence, which is actually data, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be like, well, good catch. You will never fucking hear me say that. No.
Good catch, bro.
Oh my
God.
But what we want to give you is good information that you can take away and say, oh, all right, you know what? Now I understand this better. And then hopefully the idea is that when you encounter that same experience later on, you can apply the same knowledge and filters on the scene. Absolutely. And realize what's going on and maybe check it, like do a little investigation. Don't just sit there and let things happen. Actually investigate and find the cause.
Right.
And then you can solve the mystery yourself. So, I mean, you know, Taryn. I mean, you
I
come
know.
to me,
I
and
do come. Yep, I do.
I
I'm
don't.
laughing because when I told you a story about me and Joss when we were at Hinsdale House and we heard something in the kitchen. Me and Jossie were sleeping together on the same blow-up mattress. She's like whispered to me, and she's like, "We're not going in there." She's like, "Kenny's going to be so disappointed in us. We're not going in there to see what that is." And we were just laughing. It was funny, but you're right. We didn't go investigate it, so
Right. That's it. Alternate opinion. I didn't say alternate opinion, other than what is yours and yours alone. However, I've known you to dismiss others who have asked for their professional opinions, which you're not willing to accept due to your background. I'm not sure what you're asking here. I've known you to dismiss others who have asked you for their professional opinions, which you're not willing to accept.
maybe asked you. Oh, I've asked.
I think it's with your. I don't know. She's not in the same room. She's downstairs asking this, so I can't ask her. But I think it would be from the skeptical point of view that, and I might be wrong. Maybe she'll correct me on this. But the fact that being skeptic, that everything, the first thing is let's obviously find a natural explanation, which is fine. But sometimes the natural explanations, and I'm just talking right now, but the natural explanations sometimes seem more impossible than the potential other explanations. So I don't know. I guess let's see if we could yours. However, if you okay, so
sorry.
if you have to do professional opinions, which you're not willing to. I mean, I guess the bottom. Yeah, I guess
my first question is like, who have I dismissed? I'd ask for examples. Like, who have I dismissed out of hand? Occam's razor, which is pretty much that. I mean, the idea behind that is to look at the basic idea, the most basic explanation, and take that over anything that's extraordinary, that requires you to pretty much insert supernatural events. So I don't know what this question is actually asking me. So I mean, if you can clarify, I'm happy to address it, but I don't understand what's going on here.
Let me ask you this then. Do you think from your skeptical standpoint, just because you can come up with a explanation or recreate a situation, that it wasn't due to paranormal causes?
So no, that's a difficult question to answer because it's almost, and I'm not blaming you. I'm not. I don't want to make that clear. It's almost a loaded question because it's making me say, well, if somebody can come up with something, they have an experience and they explain it. All I can do from my side is offer things off the top of my head, and that's what I've done. I can't say that's what caused it. I can't say with 100% certainty that's what caused it. You just can't. If I can get on scene and look at, what's going on, the environment, see what's going on, and what tools they actually used, maybe I can give better or different or updated alternatives. But does that mean 100% that what I'm saying is what actually happened? No. But I'm going to tend to lean towards a more natural explanation than supernatural. So if something I say, which is more of a natural explanation, if something I say can explain your experience, I'm going to lean towards that until something or new information comes to light. So that I guess that's the answer I can give. I don't know. Can you just because you can come up with an explanation for what you're seeing or experiencing, does that actually mean, in your opinion, that that is an actual explanation? Or are you willing to accept someone else's opinion, even though you don't truly understand it or fully grasp it? Well, if I don't understand something, I can't accept it. I mean, that's just, I think that's just basic. If I don't understand what they're trying to tell me, I can't accept it, but I will continue to try to understand it. And if they can't explain it satisfactory to me, then I'm at a standstill.
So let me ask you this then, building on that. If you get to a point where, let's say something's come up that you can't explain naturally, and you need to consider other alternate hypotheses, and let's say maybe some of them are parapsychological, who either within the organization you work with or even not even within that organization, outside of that organization, would you consult with?
It depends on
Because I'm going to be honest with you, my perception, and I'm going to say this is my perception, that the skeptic community discounts parapsychology and parapsychologists and those working in academic parapsychology. They discount them completely. So who would you reach out to? I'm just curious.
It really depends on what kind of experience you're bringing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I can't give you off the top of my head who I would go to. I would have to say, all right, if we're talking about extrasensory perception or remote viewing or something like that.
No, we'll give you a hypothetical. I don't know. Let's do it with a hypothetical. I don't know. End of life dreams and experiences that seem to be, let's say somebody had an end of life dream or experience or getting ready to die. They saw somebody that came to them. They didn't know they're dead. And they provided, I don't know, whatever, some information. Then they later found out that the person was dead.
Okay.
So who would you reach out to?
The person that
I know, but let's you've done all that. You've done all your background work, which is always really good. You've interviewed the people, you've interviewed the experiencer, you've tried to find out if the person was alive or dead. If it got to the point where you're like, I really don't know, who would you go to?
I don't know right now. I'd have to look into.
I'm sure Lloyd's screaming, Lloyd, we're back, man.
Well, I get where you're coming from, but
I'm just saying because it just, to me,
right
it just
now.
seems like the skeptic community. I've read the reviews of like Edsel Cardenya's meta-analysis and review of psi phenomena in American Psychologist. And there's two prominent skeptical psychologists that said, we're not even going to look at this. It doesn't exist. It's all crap because there's no way it can be possible. Is that a fair response by the skeptic community?
Well, first of all, I don't think you can say it's the skeptical community when it's only two people.
But they're referenced a lot, and they're also looked upon as, like, Alcock is a big.
All right,
he's the go-to dude for the skeptical community for a
that's
lot of
still not-
parapsychological counter.
That's still not the official representation of skeptical community. That would be like me saying Lloyd is the representative of the parapsychology community, and that
that's a fair point.
Goes.
That's a fair point.
Okay. Awesome. See, that's why me and Dave get along so well.
We don't make it personal. It's like I'm asking him tough questions. He asked me tough questions. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is good.
Is Alcock the big dick? No, Kenny's the skeptic today.
It's all me right
good.
here.
That was good. No, I mean, this is how we progress. We ask questions like this, we understand, and we move on.
I mean, I don't think personally, I don't think you can just look at maybe, and we don't have all the information here. I want to make that clear. We don't have all the information for a specific case here. We're hypothetical thinking. It's just throwing stuff out there. What ifs? That's what we're doing with, or dealing with here. But if something came up and there were lots of questions, for me personally, I would want to pursue those questions. And like Jen put in there, like something about are you willing to go to links?
Links. Not links, lengths. She meant lengths.
Links that are needed to
Tim goes to links, lots of them, rabbit holes.
If I'm going to if I'm investigating that topic, yes, that's what I do. That's what I try to do. I don't know if I do it to everyone's satisfaction or not, but I do it to my satisfaction. And whether that's good or bad, that depends on the person. That really depends on the person reading my work.
And I think that kind of is complemented by a talk you recently gave about how skeptics and others in the paranormal community, believers, whatever, you were targeting there with the others in the paranormal community. I think that speaks a lot of what you're trying to do. Is not dismiss that and work with people, not shut it down and just say, no, it can't be that.
I
think the idea is that you're willing, and I've seen that with you outside of others in the skeptical movement, that I think you're more willing to at least be open to learn and look into new things.
I mean, that's what this is here. Again, give me specific examples when I've done this, because if I don't know about something, I don't know, and I can't comment on something I don't know. I don't know about.
I bring things to Kenny. I bring things to Kenny a lot. Like there's been pictures, because people will come to me, and I'm not a very I can't explain. I'm not a very techie person, so I don't know a lot about stuff like that, right? So if somebody brings a picture to me and I myself look at it and go, I don't know what that could be. So do you mind if I share this with a friend who knows a little bit more about photography or knows more about this or knows more about that? So I'll go to Kenny. I'm like, so Kenny's always my go-to when I need, when I need that explanation, because I am a believer in that stuff. I don't think everything is that, but I do believe in it. So for me, I don't want to get caught up in my belief. I want to make sure that, because if somebody's coming to me with something, they want help, right? They are asking me, what do you think of this? And I don't, I want to be able to give them a good reason or maybe a good explanation of something, you know what I mean? So I do go to Kenny because I know he is very smart, but also a skeptic and also can explain a lot of that stuff, and I trust his, I trust his answers, and you guys too. I would go to you guys with stuff too.
Anything statistical, you need to come to me. I took it twice in college because I had to.
We always shoot that stuff to Tim.
Yeah. When they're like, I need the statistic readout on this. I'm like, it's probably. That's good enough.
Probably.
But I find it interesting though, like, there's things that I almost convince myself to believe it's paranormal. But if I ask Kenny and Kenny gives me an explanation, I automatically reverse it from being paranormal to having an explanation, even if there is a chance that it could be actually paranormal.
So if there's a natural explanation though that's given, do you go back and try to test that and see if that was it?
I have.
Okay, good.
I have.
Because I think a lot of times that's part of it. When you go back and somebody gives you a natural explanation, to me, that needs to be tested just as much as the supposed paranormal explanation, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
To be sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's only fair. But like I said, like if it's, I do tend to just, if Kenny can give me, or if anybody, but mostly I go to Kenny with stuff, but if anybody could give me an explanation, I tend to then just lean towards the natural explanation for it, even being a paranormal believing in that stuff.
But I think you have to, you got to rule out everything natural first.
Mm-hmm.
And you really need to go out of your way to totally rule out anything natural.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, there's always doubt. And there's no way you're going to discover anything new if you haven't ruled that out, right?
Right.
So to me, I think skepticism, good. Cynicism, bad.
Right.
Total belief, bad. You want to kind of ride that fence, and that's how I think you figure things out. It happens not just in the paranormal, but it happens in science too. I mean, new discoveries are made. You got people that are cynical that don't believe any of it. You got people that are true believers that are like, oh yeah, this is the way it is. But in time, as it's, further researched and looked into, the truth will eventually come out. But I think you got to have that heavy level of skepticism. But you also have to be open to whatever the other possibilities are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I when I first started out, everything was paranormal. I knew nothing.
Oh,
I was one of those little idiots running around, and
I think we were all there.
and
Every one of us.
and I think I'm not anywhere where I need to be, but I think that my last experience, and you guys, we did a show together about it, but I think my last experience, I mean, I'm glad that I was smart enough to understand that this was impossible to do anything in this location. You know what I mean? And I learned that from you guys. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people, sit there and preach about, oh, we want to, be real, and we want to make sure we present everything and this and that, but then get angry and mad when there's explanations for things. And it's so pivotal to have you have you guys in the field with us. Have you guys ever done an investigation together, the three of you?
we've kind of
It's the only
talked
thing we
about
haven't
it.
done.
We talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We still need to do that. That'd be fun.
I got to give credit to both of these guys, because some of the articles I've gone into that have gone in depth, like it's because of them. I bounce things off of them. Here's the idea. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's the original material. This is what I'm thinking with this. What are your thoughts? And good or bad, for or against, they tell me, which is great. That's what I need, because I don't know everything else. I don't know everything about everything, and I need help from other people. And if I were to go, I mean, sometimes, I mean, and I don't mean, I'm not trying to call you out, Dave, but we've gone back and forth, sometimes pretty hard. And he's called me out for being too skeptical. And I get that. I don't take it personally. Like when he says that, I stop and have to think, like, am I being too skeptical? Am I being cynical of it? Sometimes I am.
Rubbish.
And he helps me realize this.
Rubbish.
And that's awesome, and that's awesome that you can do that, because there's people in the paranormal field that when are they being too everything's paranormal, or they get angry.
See, right there, that's why it's so easy to be cynical, because so many people will say it's definitely haunted.
Right.
It's definitely haunted. This is so freaking haunted.
Yeah.
And it's really nothing for me or anyone else to say, no, it's not.
Right.
Because I have the same amount of data that you have to say it's not.
Right.
So if I do that, if I just jump on something, which I try not to do, I know I've done it like in my earlier years when I went more skeptical, I did it a lot. And I try not to do it now. I'm sure I do it once in a while. But I try to make sure I have the data to back up, saying, no, I don't think this is what you think it is. Sometimes I screw up. Sometimes I make mistakes. And it's nice to know that I have two guys that will immediately, go in our chat, our private chat, and say, hey, so about what you said. And give me information. So I appreciate that.
And that's the same for us too. How the three of us ended up together was so.
No, we have to do an investigation together. All three of you guys have to. Kenny's going with the peaches.
I am.
Well,
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Tim. Sorry.
It's okay. No, you're fine. It's fine. I had picked a spot here in West Virginia but I got a little too maybe. I critiqued too much of their evidence, and then I was blocked, and I can't get in anymore. And it's in my own
You were
freaking state.
Vickers.
Way to go, Timmy.
Vicker was Vickers.
I was Vickers.
Vickers.
Yeah. Anyway, it was.
But you said how you were started to say how you guys got together.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's there was a person that we all are familiar with that really couldn't take feedback, and that's putting it, I guess, as polite as I can.
Mildly.
Yeah.
Mildly.
Well, who are you talking about?
That's
Pause.
but
Wow.
it's nice. It is. It's nice. It's not easy. But it's nice to hear someone correct you when you're wrong, because that's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. Like, I don't know. Like, I go through a peer review process at work, and I'm sure Dave has at some point been through it, and I'm sure Kenny doing this has probably done the same. And it's like you learn to sit there and you listen to people peer review your professional work, and in the long run you just have to understand that is for your betterment. There is something that I'm very cautious about when I listen to my peer review, and I've done what I do for 20 some years. And a danger of that is that I've become aware of right around a long time ago, but I started noticing it myself when it was told to me, was that long doing something that you do for so long, you tend to get into a rut or maybe a habit, a linear way of thinking and doing. And it's a habit, and you can't apply that to everything. So when new research comes out, when new stuff is presented to you, it's more difficult to change, but you need to have people tell you sometimes that there is new stuff out there that you should think about changing. And it's good to have people that will do it. And it's a skill that you get, that you take it. And
Right.
you do see a bigger picture when you do that you appreciate that feedback, because it helps you do something better that you want to be good at.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I also think people that look for that type of constructive criticism or criticism, stuff like that, like, that says a lot about what they're in this for as well.
Mhm.
The people that are in it for their own personal gain and monetarily and stuff like that, they're not going to accept that something that they have, whatever it may be, a picture, a video, a haunted doll, the list goes on and on and on and on. They're not going to take that it's not what they think it is, because, that's where they want to, that's their money maker.
Yeah.
And they'll argue it and they'll fight it. And,
Well, there's more than just money. There's more motivational things to people doing what they do than just
well, no, right. But my
Yeah.
point was though, that people that aren't passionate about what they're doing and care about their integrity and care about, what they're actually doing in the field of study that they're in, if they don't care about that part of it, they're not going to be open to hearing and learning how to grow and learning how to make things better.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's not easy. Sometimes you're like, "Fuck, I'm taking an ass whipping on what I just did." I know, but
An F-bomb.
I'm sorry.
He's drunk.
But yeah, I start drinking before 8:00. So,
Tim thought we were on at 8.
I did. I was trying to get a little toasted before 8:00 to get going. So,
Great.
An hour early.
yeah. But I guess the thing is like I just want to express, like, sometimes it's not easy. It's not fun sometimes to listen to. But if you care about what you're doing, it doesn't mean that somebody doesn't like you or they don't appreciate your work. It's just someone giving you some feedback, and it's good to listen to it. You don't have to take it. you can listen to it and put it and evaluate it for what it is and adjust as you see fit. And if you want to go, you can contact the person that's peer reviewing you and discuss, and it helps. But like we're all saying, like, it's not easy. It's not a lot of fun getting questioned and taking that peer review or taking the, you messed up kind of comments, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay.
It's hard. We all go through it.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tim and Dave go through it, like more on I guess I would say a professional and academic level. So they go through it. I go through it more recently, being here, because now I have multiple editors that look at everything I'm doing, and piss me off, man. But no, they do a great job. They do a great job because they track my work, and that's what I need. And if a question comes up, whether it's from these two guys or from my editors or from somebody else, a question comes up. I don't get butthurt about it. I don't take it personally. This is business. This is what we do. So if it comes up, I have to address it. And if I don't know, or if I don't have my supporting data, or if I don't have anything to back it up, I look stupid.
Right.
So I want to make sure, like, I'm not perfect. I get it, but I try to make sure that I have everything set, all my T's crossed, my I's dotted, and make sure I have all my data. But it's hard to take criticism. It really is. You have to learn how to do it. It is a learned skill. I stand behind that 100% because
it really is.
You take everything so personal, and I've been there, and I think these guys have been there, but everyone has been there. When you put something out and you put your heart and soul into it, and then someone points out a mistake or a discrepancy, you were like, fuck. You go through that depression, you hate yourself, all these emotions that you go through because you screwed up. And you screwed up and you can't say anything. And unfortunately, in the paranormal community, we see people lash out a lot. They lash out because it's not what they believe. It's not what they think. Maybe they just don't like you from the beginning.
Right.
Maybe they just have that bias against you that doesn't matter if you're right or wrong or you're helpful or not. They just freaking hate you. Yeah. So they don't want to take any criticism for you, no matter how polite you might be. Right. And but overall, it's very hard to take that. And I think I'm at a point now, even now, like I can sit here, like this is my when people come in desk and sit down because I have chairs here, and somebody will come in and say, we got to talk about this. And they'll sit down and they'll lay out things that are either not supported or, hey, is this opinion or not? Where did you get this reference? And you feel it. Like I still feel like, oh shit, like I'm in trouble. No, but I usually have my backup. I usually forgot to like include a reference, or I didn't cover something, and it's okay. It's a learning experience, and I take it. I take it.
See, that's the point. It's a learning experience. I mean, look at that paper we're going through and trying to publish right now to a peer-reviewed journal.
Yeah, thank God I was there for the statistics.
Yeah, thank you.
So you submit it, and it's like our work, the three of us. It's kind of our baby. You send it in, and then you get 3 or 4 pages of what's wrong with it, and you're like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. You're like, and your first reaction, that's the first one. Then the second reaction, you're reading
with the cross hanging on the back of the wall, right?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so then the next comment is, no, we're right. But that's not, I mean, these are people that have a lot more knowledge. They send it out to people that are well-versed in the topics and have, researched and done this for a living. And I think that's the point where you realize, and I think part of it honestly comes with age and maturity.
Yeah.
and being a little more mellow. I mean, 20 years ago, yeah, I'd probably be all fired up, like, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm right. You guys are nuts. But these days I look at it and go, yeah, they're right. They made a good point. I don't know
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
Okay, fine, we'll fix it. And when you look at it and work together with them on making it better, that's how you progress.
Yeah.
That's how science is supposed to work.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, I think we're finally to a point. I'm hoping you guys, we can get that done. But I mean, the first couple times back, these guys are trying. I mean, the editors and what they're doing, they're really trying to be nice and help us along. But I mean, they were almost some of the emails are like, oh, sorry, but you gotta, this is a whole different level, and you got to do this and that. I'm like, guys, just tell us the way it is. I don't care. I'm
Mhm.
not getting offended by it. I don't
Right.
care.
Yeah.
Just tell me what's
Yeah.
wrong with it so we can fix it
Yeah.
and move
Yeah.
on.
That is
Everybody's-
exactly old age. Just tell me, Jesus.
I mean, you
Yeah.
get to a certain point where you're just like, all right, whatever. Just help me fix it.
Get off my
But
lawn.
but I think what helps is with the people that at least and Tim and Kenny haven't been working with the people I have to get this finalized, but to have them collaborate with you as opposed to saying, hey, dipshit, you're wrong, and now go figure it out. But to have somebody who will take you and tell you what specifically was wrong, constructive feedback, and help you make it better.
Right.
I mean, I know for the three of us on Three Tortured Souls, we love that. People coming in to try to come together and help you. But there's others out there that, hey, screw you, I'm right, no matter what you say, and don't challenge me. But
Mhm.
that's, to me, why the field is not progressing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nobody can take constructive criticism. And
Yeah.
I put stuff on Facebook all the time. It's like, hey, here's an opportunity to publish in this journal. Here's a grant available. If you all think you're really doing science and you want to get better, go for it.
Yeah.
How many people have taken any of that up?
Right.
None.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've had dozens of times when people have put forth claims, and I've challenged them and said, hey, show us the clip, bring the clip to us, clip it out. Don't just give us like the little EVP, like the 5 seconds where the EVP was, or your ghost is. Give us like a full like half hour.
Yeah. That's what I love. Whenever I cut my audio, a lot of people just leave that one, just the EVP, but I like to leave in the before and even after, like the conversation, like everything we're saying, like everything. I like leaving everything in, and I say, I know this is a little long, but we got to listen to it. We listen to the whole thing.
That's the point. If you're going to investigate something, you have to invest time into it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's maybe the deciding factor of like what we look at and what we don't look at, because it takes a lot of time. This stuff is not decided within 5 seconds.
Right.
Just not.
Exactly.
It's not an hour show that's actually like 42-minute video, with commercials where you decide everything. This is sometimes hours and hours out of our day, days out of our week, months out of our year, where we have to investigate this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you send us something, and because we're interested in looking further into it, then be prepared. Send us that. We want the long clip because we are nerds about this. That's what it comes down to. You have to be a nerd because you have to be interested in listening to an hour-long video that is of a dark screen and just has audio. You have to be a nerd about it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, I mean, this goes on with some of the stuff we've been talking about throughout the night, is that some of the stuff comes off of social media. Like once you engage and say, hey, send me the clip, I'll take a look at it and I'll give you an opinion based on what I know, this and that. And then it goes off of social media and becomes something through email and you don't see on social media. So sometimes people see like a post and you'll see like 20 posts and you read through it all. Well, if you actually do, because most people don't, because they comment the same shit that's already been posted. But you get down to the bottom and it kind of stops. and that's usually because we took it off social media and just said, you know what, you need to send it to me. I'll look at it, and we do it privately. So maybe that's, to kind of piggyback on some of the stuff we talked about earlier. You might not see everything with an investigation because it goes off public notice and it goes private.
Right.
That's my piece. I'm done.
Well, this was a good interview. This was awesome. This was some fun times.
I had fun.
And I want to do an investigation with the three of you. I want 4 of us, if not more, whoever, I don't care, but at least the 4 of us to do an investigation together. I would love to see how you guys investigate. Kenny always follows everybody else around and watches them investigate and takes notes.
Taryn's been at some of the events I've been at where I just sit in the corner and I'm like just writing down notes, making observations. So yeah, it would be fun.
For sure.
I think you would see a very different investigation.
I would love to see that for sure.
It definitely would not be a TV investigation.
No,
it would be completely, because just from the
we'll have Shane there for sure.
Far.
Yes, he would have to be there.
Like the Hinsdale house, I've been there, and I know Dave has been there, but our investigations, I think both of them separate, would be completely boring to outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
I think because it was more focused on data collection, and time-consuming tests. Because even like the second time I went there, I was doing a test.
Oh God, the Eagle must have just won or something.
What's wrong?
I said, is the game over or something? Because people are like shooting, screaming, and shooting.
Oh, Eagles must have won, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's like
nope, it's not over yet.
Oh,
35-33. Kansas City's up right now.
Oh,
Eagles just scored. 5 minutes left.
And I told Dave that I was going there, and he's like, "Hey, can you do this? Can you do this?
Follow up on this." So,
yeah. And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean, I was there. Let's see, Jen and I went, and we were with Brandon, Shane, and Don Molnar. And it's been a year, and we're still going through everything and analyzing everything, which is way more than you're going to see on the TV shows or what most normal groups do.
Hey, when were you there?
Is it the 3rd week of April, I think?
Of April of 2022.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're still going through analyzing
Yeah.
And we're still going through the data. We were having weekly calls for a while. It's every couple of weeks now. We're still analyzing the data. We're interpreting things. I mean, it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I was there.
That
was like 3 days. 3 days we were there.
That's the difference between a 3-day investigation that is still being analyzed almost a year later compared to someone that went there for one night and posted their findings the next day and said, "Hey, look, we got ghosts."
Yeah.
That's the big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And people should think about that. Like,
I was there in September. I'm still going through my stuff. And I was at some place in January. I know this wasn't that long ago, but we were there for 2 nights. January the 19th through the 20th or 21st. I'm still working on that. I'm trying to work on both. It's pretty hard to do both. So,
you know what's funny now is like Daniel that owns the house, the Hinsdale house. He lives literally 5 minutes from me now.
I know. I saw that. Yeah.
We went out to lunch. Dave,
I love it there.
Oh, really? He's like 5 minutes from you now?
Yeah, he's literally 5. He picked me up.
That's hilarious.
A couple of weeks ago, he picked me up and we went to lunch and hung out for a while.
Yeah.
We got the tour. I gave him a tour of the whole building and stuff. So yeah, he's right here, which is nice. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy.
Super.
I like him a lot. I mean, he's a really nice guy. And he knows, like, I don't agree with all the stuff that he promotes, but I mean, that's the professional, not not personal.
Right.
Not personal.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I love that you guys came on.
I love it too.
Oh, I'm very familiar with Mechanicsville.
Ooh.
Yes. I have been invited there. I would like to go there actually. I've heard a lot of stuff about that place.
What is that?
It's the name of a town in Virginia.
There's a town named Cabin on 360.
No, Mechanicsville.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
No, Mechanicsville.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
Ryan C.
you?
Jones, him and is there another Dennis Eslock? I think Dennis Eslock runs it, but Ryan Jones, his family owns it. And I guess they saved it from being torn down at one point or something. I don't know. There was there was a murder on the property. They have like all the newspaper clippings and stuff like that and everything of a girl. Of a young girl, but yeah, that's him, Dennis. Okay, I thought so. I've had them both on my show talking about the cabin, but they do events there and stuff. You know, I didn't hear about it until this past year, but apparently it's been around for a little bit, so I wouldn't mind going there.
Hey,
I heard there's a couple of buildings on the property, like it's a large property, and there's a couple of structures on the property that you can investigate.
So Dave, we have Redman saying that 1 year later, did you really find anything?
Yes. Found a lot of good stuff. Is it paranormal or things that people were interpreting as paranormal? That's the question. And I can't say too much because Brandon and Shane and Don and I are working on a book.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's so frequently on my show. I can't say anything because
it's the same version of tune in next week, same bat channel, same bat time.
Yeah, Brandon would kill us if we said anything.
But you know what? I like that. I like how he ended that. He didn't tell you, yes, we found ghosts.
Right.
He's like, yes, but did we find ghosts or did we find, other things? And I mean, that leaves it open to either way, but it doesn't show that he's like, yeah, we found ghosts. Like pretty much every ghost hunter that does it as soon as they're done their weekend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of what we've done is taken the current literature and even some of the older stuff and tried to apply that to what we did there and see if it pans out. And it's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I had an interesting weekend there. That's probably my favorite place I've been so far.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's funny. Yes, I think Shane. He's like, I never slept better at a place.
Yes.
Everybody else is like, I had a hard time sleeping. It's so awful, and it's funny when you.
Oh no, I slept great.
I think he may have said that on your show too, Taryn. He's like, yeah, I slept great there. It was fantastic. It was really peaceful.
Yeah, no, I slept good there too. We had a lot of experiences, me and the girls, but not just paranormal. We had a lot of experiences like with other stuff, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we collected it. We had a couple things that make you sit there and go,
yeah,
and explain it. So
I don't know
what that'll all come out in the book. So
cool. Looking forward to putting that on my shelf.
Yeah, that'll be good.
We'll have to bring Shane and Don and Brandon on and have a 3 Tortured Souls episode just on that once it comes out. That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That'd be fun. Cool.
All right. Well, does anybody have anything else to say before I say sayonara?
Oh, I want to say it's nice to see Redman. We don't get to see it.
It's been a while.
Redman.
Oh, geez. 2
a.m. I'm not in bed till 2 a.m.
Redman, that's the beauty of the shows being recorded. You can watch them whenever you want.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's true.
So we doing announcements? Is that what we're doing? Because I got a bunch.
Go ahead.
Oh, my goodness. So let's see. The 25th of February. If you're local to Buffalo, we're doing a CPR certification course here at the Center for Inquiry. So you can come out. It's $55 per person. You come out, you get a 2-year certification in CPR, which is great. I mean, that's especially because it's in light of the Buffalo Bills, the gentleman that pretty much died on the field and was resuscitated and brought back. So CPR course, come on out. I'm going to be here. I'm going to get recertified. My wife is coming out to get recertified, and
Cool.
it's open to everyone. So that we have that coming up. We have, what else do we have? I got to move my my thing here. There's something coming up in March that I can't talk about because it's kind of private, I think. I don't know if it's public. Terry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then March 11th, I'll be at the Shanley Hotel
Shanley.
with Taryn and all the girls, and we're going to investigate that place. So I haven't been there for a while, but I've been there a couple times, so I'm looking forward to coming back. In May 12th to 14th is the Rochester Parafest, which is about an hour away from me. I'll be there setting up my Skeptical Help booth. And then the week after that, I'll be in Penhurst for that conference. And
For the
setting
Paracon?
Yeah, for the Paracon.
Awesome.
I'll be there. And then July 14th to 16th, I'll be in Gettysburg.
Woo! Are you
That's
guys
right.
coming?
Oh, we'll be there.
You should be there. You guys
Davey?
should be there. I
Davey?
think you guys have been there like 2 years in a row.
I don't know. We'll see.
Three would be awesome. And then finally,
Yeah, three.
November 4th and 5th is the Para-Unity Conference in New Jersey. So I'll be there setting up.
Hey, I'm speaking at the bash. I'm going to be
What?
on a panel.
Really?
What panel? My
The
panel?
podcast one.
My panel?
The podcast one, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, that's not. I don't know if I'm on the podcast one.
Are you not?
I don't know.
I
I
thought
should
you
be.
Yeah, he only does
I
2
will argue.
podcasts. You think he'd be on it?
I will argue the shit out of you.
Why would you argue me?
Like, nope, he's wrong. He's wrong.
I don't know. Last time I showed up, we had a little bit of a problem with the internet to do our live show.
Oh,
That
Lord have
sucked.
mercy.
It was fun though.
It was fun.
The last one?
The
Yeah.
last one, yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
everything went good.
Nothing
No.
like being hardwired in and the internet still sucked ass.
Yeah, because we did the show in Taryn, you and Donna and
Yeah, remember you?
girls.
you
took
I was
over
getting all
for
the
us
people.
during
I was
the,
bringing all the people over, and
Yeah.
then the clown showed up, and I had to run away. And
I clipped
Good.
that. I have that small little piece on a video. that
no,
we-
you don't.
Yes, we
Yep.
do. Yep.
We have it.
Yep.
That's I gotta say that's one of my favorite times because like I see these two guys all the time. Like we talk constantly and I get to see them. It was every week, but now it's every month. We get to do a show together. But actually being
Yeah.
together
It was fun.
and hanging out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can't top that.
Just to see Kenny sign fans stuff.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
amazing.
That was. We
We
have
got
that video
We got a
too.
video
don't we?
of that too.
We have that video.
Hate you guys. Hate you. Love you guys. Even though I hate you.
We have Kenny signing video or signing
Mug.
fan stuff,
Yeah.
and Taryn crawling underneath a table to get away from
A clown.
the clown.
What a time. What a time that was.
It was a good time.
It was fun. It was fun. And so you guys have. So that means you have to come again, Dave. You can't
Yeah.
not come.
Dave.
We'll see. It would be work preventing me from coming. So we'll see.
You just give him my name.
Put in the
Work.
Para-Celeb's name.
If there's any time that I'm going to cash in the Para-Celeb thing, it'll
There
be
you go.
get
Let
you
me
in.
let me tell you about the other job I have that he doesn't really pay me, but I'm on his staff. I got to go to this.
There you go.
I'm afraid he's gonna fire me if I don't
The
show up.
one thing you're obligated to do.
we'll do what we can to try to make it there. I mean, obviously, we used to live in Pennsylvania. We always like to come back and see our friends out there. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I used to live in Pennsylvania too. Don't anymore. I'm a New Yorker.
I want to move.
That's almost as bad as moving to Illinois, man.
All right, I'm cool. I'm good.
All right. Well, were you done your announcements?
Yeah, I'm done. That's all I have.
Timmy. Somebody asked about the book. Timmy.
Once a month, I do a show with two of my really good friends, Three Tortured Souls. I get a little bit more intoxicated than I am tonight because I wanted to at least pronunciate everything correctly. But it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right.
First Wednesday of every month.
I know, and I miss it because of my show. I hate it, but I do rewatch.
Just postpone your show.
Oh,
postpone it.
I can't. I'm looking until like April.
You should just join our show and do your show from our show.
It'll be like picture in picture. We'll have two shows going on.
There you go.
That's crazy.
You damn kids with your TikTok shit.
Oh my God. I only do it for my lives. That's it.
Dave, what do you got coming up?
First Wednesday of every month with Kenny and Tim, Three Tortured Souls. Great time. We have a lot of fun together. Besides that, working on the Hinsdale House and a book with Brandon, Shane, and Don. And
somebody asked if you knew when that was coming out.
No, I do not. Brandon's constantly bothering me to finish up my sections, but anyway. No. So that's it's up to him. He's the lead author. He's the one leading the charge on that. So I really don't know. I think he's coming up on your show soon. So you can hit Brandon up for those questions, Taryn. And then besides that, trying to finish this paper with Tim and Kenny. It's in the final kind of stylistic editorial process. And that, if it all looks good and there's no more delays, that should come out in the summer issue of a journal that focuses and spends a lot of their articles on parapsychological topics. So that should be coming out in the summer.
I have a question though. With the book, was Dan involved in the book too?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all Dan, Shane, myself, co-authors with Brandon being the lead.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
Unless he gets tired of me not getting things done, he's like, "Get the hell out of here, man."
Yeah, he'll be coming on. I forget what he's coming on in April, I think.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. I better get a signed copy.
Yeah,
it'll cost you. It's okay.
Bitch.
You can buy the book. Signatures are $5. You'll be fine.
Okay, I'll mail it to you.
Or you're fired.
And pay his shipping, he said.
Dave's like Dave and Tim are those employees that get fired like every other day.
Yeah.
But and then we keep showing up because we never really fucking worked there.
It's like Kramer. It's like Kramer.
Yeah, Kramer. That was a great episode.
You're fired. I never really worked here.
I don't work here.
You can fire me. I don't work here.
He come back and he's got a briefcase. He's like, I got so much to do. I'm under so much pressure. He's like, you don't work there.
Just keep moving my red stapler further away from my cube.
My cheeks hurt. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming on. I love you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Number 4.
Fun.
Number 4.
You guys are the best. I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
4.
May the 4th always be with you.
Absolutely.
That's going to be my ending for all whenever we're on a show together.
May the 4th be with you. Click.
4th. Click. End of show.
End of show. All right. Good night, guys. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And let me see.
Oh, she's like